Good afternoon, girlfriends. Good afternoon. Peace and blessings. It's that time of the afternoon for a Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling interview. And we're going to get our guest on and then we're going to get started. There we go. Here she is. Beautiful. Hello, Heather. Welcome. Hey, Regina. Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Yay.
All right, so let's see. It should be shared and to Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling page. Look for it. If you refresh your page, and then you can share it to your personal page.
Okay.
Let me know once you've done that. Then we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, girlfriends. As you all come in, let me know where you're viewing us from. That'd be great. This is going to be a great interview. I got some great questions to ask Regina out of Georgia. Cannot wait, cannot wait. All right, girlfriends, come in. Let us know when you're viewing us from, and we can know where our village is extended out to. I am out of South Carolina, and I have Regina. I knew that. I'm not sure why my mouth said Virginia. I have Regina out of Georgia. So have you shared it already?
I am trying to find the actual live video. I see the page, your page, Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling.
Yeah. If you refresh, it should pop up in just a sec.
Awesome. Maybe it's just taking a second.
Yeah. Then once you do that, we'll go ahead and go live. Go ahead and get started.
Sure. Just going to hit refresh, see if that makes a difference.
Okay, sounds good. Here's some kiddos back there playing.
Oh, yeah, outside. I'm like, even outside, they're a little loud.
Yeah, on our outside too. But yeah, we're homeschool moms and we have children, right?
Yes.
We have children.
Who love to play.
Is it up there yet?
No.
No? Okay.
I was trying to see if I can share the story, but I'm not seeing that option.
All that spells, you can definitely share it from my personal page, and then we'll get it on Girlfriend's Guide in Homeschooling in just a little bit.
Okay, that may work better.
Hi, Sinitra. No, Sindra. I don't have my glasses, so I have to scoot. Hi, Sindra. Welcome into the interview.
All right, that worked.
All right, beautiful. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling. I am turned up for today's interview. This is with Regina Coley. Am I saying it Coley or Cooley?
Coley. You're saying it correctly.
I did it correct the first time. So yes, this is going to be a great interview. I'm here in South Carolina, and Regina is out of Georgia, homeschooling mom. So let me tell you a little bit about this, and then this platform, and then we'll dive right in and share a bit more about Regina. So this is Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling, and I'm your host. I'm Angela Jordan Perry. So peace and blessings to all of you. This platform is to give voice to the African homeschooling diaspora and to the marginalized homeschooling. They get to share their triumphs, their successes, their nuggets of wisdom, their insights, encouragement to those who are either considering homeschooling or those who are currently homeschooling. This is the place you want to be to get some insights from these mamas. And daddies. I interview daddies as well. So we're in the thick of homeschooling and making it happen. So basically, hashtag we homeschool too. Our kids are thriving. They're doing well. They're excelling in their academics. And us melanated mamas and daddies, we're contributing to making a difference in our kids' life through homeschooling. So that's what this platform is. And you'll find us on our Facebook page, on YouTube, on Tumblr, on Instagram, and there's one other resource, and our podcast. Yes. So you'll find us there. So just a little bit about me. I am a homeschooling mom myself of 8 children, 18 years of homeschooling. 3 we graduated already and 5 more to go. 5 more to go. We make our home in the northwest part of the state of South Carolina, where we are self-sustaining farmers. So we grow our own food. We have a steer and pig and goats and turkeys and all that kind of stuff. So we are making it happen. Didn't know a thing what we were doing. We just jumped in it and did it. So this is where we are, and I'm homeschooling here in South Carolina and help provide legal rights for other homeschoolers to do so in this state. That's what I do in part. So my purpose-driven life is to make a positive impact on thousands of homeschoolers worldwide. I do that in part serving my homeschoolers in this state, and then coming to you through Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling, and soon another platform. I'm so excited. It's called Educating Our Own. That's going to be rolling out soon, and that's going to be our hub for this village that we are building all over the world. So excited about that. So that's just a little bit about me, but here we have Regina. So Regina.
Yes.
Are you ready to make it happen?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Let me tell you about Regina Coley. Regina Coley is a youth development practitioner and speaker. She assists school administrators, parents, and teachers inspire their children to plan for and commit to their futures so that they can understand the purpose of their decisions today. Coming from a family of educators, she too jumped into the field of education with the intention of changing lives. It was during this time that Regina discovered the need of youth and their families and saw the need to extend learning and empowerment beyond the classroom. Having benefited from being involved in girls' empowerment programs, having mentors, and having a very strong support system, she knows the value of being inspired. Extending her passion from working with youth, especially girls, Regina founded Leading Ladies of Legacy Incorporated, a nonprofit organization providing leadership development training for girls and young women. Regina hosts the Leading Ladies of Legacy Girls Empowerment Conference, an annual empowerment conference for girls held here or there in Atlanta, Georgia. One of Regina's proudest accomplishments was being named one of Atlanta's 40 under 40 leaders by the New Leaders Council, and I can't wait to ask her about that. So another one of her proudest moments was the moment she became a mother. Now Regina has soon to be 6 beautiful children whose future means the world to her. And as a parent, she wants to make sure that she is utilizing every resource available to her to support her children's future. Regina is a proud graduate of Howard University and enjoys using her knowledge of education and experience as a teacher to guide, inspire, and empower audiences to focus on their futures. Regina calls young people to discover their purpose and walk boldly down that path. So girlfriends, I have just told you a little bit about Regina. Very impressive bio. But Regina, if you would, anything else you'd like to share, please share with our girlfriends. And then tell us how you got started in homeschooling.
Sure. So one little nugget, we just recently left Georgia and we're now residing in Alabama.
Whoa,
so that's our first. It was a really quick turnaround. Probably just at the beginning of January we moved. Okay. So we're still fairly new here, have a ton of family here. And having 6 kids, you know, we need a lot of family support. So I'm like, that was going to work best for us. So we just made that transition. And during that transition is when we decided, you know, homeschooling is probably going to be the best option for us now. I've wanted to homeschool, and since my now oldest daughter, since she was beginning kindergarten, I just felt that it would be a much better option. And we looked into the K-12 system. I remember enrolling her and getting all of our materials. And at the time, my husband and I hadn't come to an agreement that homeschooling was best. He had come from that generation of hearing like, oh, homeschooling children are not socialized. They're weird. They're the weird kids. Why aren't they in school? And I'm like, I'm seeing lots of people all around me. I'm a part of all these mommy blogs and mommy groups, and I'm hearing all of these wonderful experiences that their kids are getting to have. And I just wanted that for my daughter. So this year she's in 5th grade. So it took us some time, but we finally had an opportunity to transition. I said, why not? I mean, instead of enrolling them in school, let's just see how it works. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, the schools aren't going anywhere. And the blessing has been that it's working. It's really working. We just added our 6th little addition at the beginning of March. So he's just 2 months old. And it's been a struggle, like just juggling, okay, the baby is here, and then making sure that things are still getting done with the children. But a part of that process has also been realizing that we're not doing school at home. That's not what homeschooling is. And sometimes there's a lot of pressure on you to feel as though it has to be school at home from 9 to 10. It has to be reading. From 10 to here, it has to be math. And so giving ourselves a little bit of grace to realize we don't even have to be in the house today. If we all need a break and we all need to leave, pack the work up in a bag, pack those tablets up, let's go to the park and do something. So that flexibility with homeschooling has really been really good for our children, because they're not kids that need to sit to the table for hours and hours on end doing worksheets and workbooks anyway, and understanding what their gifts and talents are and being able to spend some time doing that. Like even today we were working on, my daughter is just like, I want a YouTube channel and I want to focus on my blog. So I'm like, you're doing writing, you're doing public speaking, you're planning, you're processing, you're creating charts, all of those things that we deem educational experiences, but she's still getting a chance to explore entrepreneurship, explore her gifts and talents. Who knows if she'll become a video editor or the next YouTuber, but she's getting a chance to explore that. Whereas if she was in school, we wouldn't be able to do that until she got home in the afternoon. So that flexibility and for people to be able to see what that model looks like, especially in our own family, has been really a real joy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, all right, so let's back up. Tell me the ages of your children and how long have you been homeschooling?
So we just started homeschooling in January. As soon as the new year came in, we kind of started our new school year. Yes. So still very fresh.
Yes. Yes.
And my kids are, oldest is 10, son is 8, and I have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 2-month-old.
Girl! All right, Regina, you girlfriends, did you hear that? Let me tell you these ages again. Wait a minute. She said 10 years old, 8, 4, 2, 1, and 2 months.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
You got that right.
You know, okay. Oh my goodness. All right. So girlfriends, this is a brand new, spanking new homeschooling mom. Started this year, January 2018. Now with 6 children, just moved to a new location, and she's homeschooling. All right, so listen, if you all have questions, you want to pick her brain, let me know, and if we can get it in the show, I'm going to ask her. But Regina, these are my favorite questions, so many. Wow, you being new is huge, and then you're willing to do this interview is even that much more, wow, great esteem to you. And then additionally, to have such little ones while you're homeschooling and to have just moved. You got a lot of dynamics going there. So are you feeling like you're going crazy right now?
I got really excited in January. That was before the baby got here. And it was like Sundays were my favorite day to start this whole planning and, getting ready for Monday. Then the baby came, and it's like that sleep deprivation and getting back up and doing schooling. That part has me feeling a little loopy, but coffee is my friend.
Beautiful. Gotcha. All right. So this is my favorite question for those who are prior home educators. Now, granted, just about 4 months, your feet are really, it has been into this. Have you felt that your background in education is aiding you in this new homeschooling journey at all? Anything you can glean from, or it's just like, no, it's not?
It is. But it also was a little bit of a hindrance, because for me as a teacher, I'm like, what are the standards? All right, we need to cover this. And it became like I'm teaching at home all over again. Where is my lesson plan? What can I pull from? But that background lets me create lessons easily and on the go, because I've been teaching for over a decade. It's like I have a well to pull from when it comes to activities, when it comes to attention getters for the kids when it comes to recognizing when they just need a break in a minute to step away from learning and come back to it later. Those types of things have been aiding me. And also just the materials. Like I'm in my dining room now, like this is our homeschool area, but my china cabinet is filled with all my teaching materials from when I was teaching. So that in and of itself was really great. I know that sometimes keeps people from starting homeschooling. It's like, I have to invest in curriculum. I have to invest in materials. And I already had those things at my disposal. So that aided me as well as just being able to look at what I have and what can I start with what I already have. And I'm a Goodwill girl. Like I stay in a thrift store finding books and board games and things that'll help to still be able to educate my kids on a dime. So all of those experiences have really helped, is just being able to pull from the things that I've already had and understanding what that structure is like. So when I taught 1 year multi-level, and that year was a challenge for me. I taught kids who were being homeschooled online with K-12. Plus I had 2 separate grade levels in front of me to actually teach. So being able to find that balance in that classroom that year was like, I remember then I was like, this is crazy. Nobody's supposed to have to do this, but it's exactly what I'm doing now homeschooling. It's like, I have multiple grade levels. I have the little ones who are just doing phonics sounds and letters and shapes. So it is that kind of like, how do you find time for everyone to learn what it is that they need to learn at their level? So that's really helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. Which is a good segue into what is your daily habit? I mean, do you have a daily habit at this point? Especially this how you do, especially with little children. So that is very rare. So please, share with us, how are you getting it done? What does your day look like from day to day, Regina?
As far as me, as far as planning, or what I do with the children?
As far as just, here's the day, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do whatever I need to do for me, and then whatever I need to do for the kids and do schooling. Do you have like is there a routine to your, okay. Share. Yeah.
So once we get up, I do like to just at least have a little bit of time to myself before everyone wakes up, which some days that happens, some days it doesn't. I'm waking up with the little ones. That's fine, but we don't jump straight into our homeschooling routine. We eat first, I get coffee. We have an opportunity to just be for a few minutes before we jump straight into schooling. Sometimes I print out coloring sheets and I'll have that and crayons on the table so that if there is a little one who's up, I can see them kind of getting busy looking for things to get into. They know that they can go to the table and either start drawing, because those pencils and crayons and things are there for them to just fuel their creativity before we start in with academics. And I typically start with the older children first because their work is more structured in terms of reviewing what it is that we're doing. Our daily schedule gets written on the whiteboard behind me as far as what are we doing today. If something exciting is coming up, as far as maybe we have an event at church that night, or maybe we're going on a field trip, we're going to go visit a farm, or we're going to go have lunch someplace special. They get really excited to know, what are we doing today that's, different from the other days. So all those kind of announcements go on the whiteboard here, which is still an exciting place for them to kind of come and check in the mornings. But the students have, the older two have binders, and inside they have a daily checklist, and they also have all their lessons for the week. So if there's something that they're working on independently, they can do that, and they already have that in the binder. Whereas the little kids are really hands-on. We're doing blocks, we're doing puzzles, we're using manipulatives, and those little things can get all over the house if I'm not keep it right here on this rug and, guiding them. And they need a little bit more direction, or it'll just turn into playing, which is fine, because that's what they should be doing at this age. But I do like to infuse that me being able to sit there with them. And then my husband is home sometimes during the day. He's my big science buff. So sometimes he'll take them over to the TV. They're watching science film on Netflix, and he's discussing things. So if he's, doing a little bit of work with them, then I can work with the little ones. And we kind of find our balance there with that. But they know that each day is check in here at this whiteboard, check your binder, because typically I will have put something in there the night before that you can work on, and then we'll do some work together. But now that the weather is so nice and it's so hot here, we try to get out of the house a little bit more often. And so we're getting away from just being in this homeschool space to getting out and now finding, places where they can apply the knowledge that they've been learning outside of the house.
Yes, yeah. Well, Regina, I stand totally at awe. My mouth is just want to just drop over like. I just stand in awe of you because just, again, being new to homeschooling, having such a young group of children, all of them, I mean, pretty young. You have 6 children under the age of 10.
Yes.
You're homeschooling and you got a newborn and just moved. I'm just like, wow, how did she do this? So tell us, I'm going to jump here. What is your piece of advice you can give to, those homeschoolers who feel like they're all over the place? Or they're brand new? What is your best piece of advice that you feel like you can pass on?
Best piece of advice is just define what you want for your homeschool. At the beginning of every year, I have a word for the year. So this year, my word was grace. There are so many times that I believe that people don't understand what it's like to get 6 kids out of the house, to even go to the store or to go to the library. It's like, where's your shoe? I just put your shoes on. And it's like they're taking them back off. So sometimes it takes so much effort to just get out of the house. So I have to realize that there are days where things are going to have a beautiful flow. And then there are days when things are going to be kind of crazy. And you just have to be flexible and you have to do the best that you can. The crazy thing about homeschooling is that there isn't any standard. It's like you're not in a school system where it's like the principal's like, I need to see your lesson plans for today. I need to do your evaluation today to make sure that you knocked out 6, consecutive hours of instruction. We don't have anybody over us that's doing that. So there's just so much freedom and flexibility to do things in a way that works best for you and works best for your family and your belief system and what you feel your kids need. I know my daughter, she's like, when are we going to do like social studies? I'm like, your social studies is Black history. And we're doing that every day because you're not going to get that when you go back to school. When are you going to get to learn about a Black historian every single day? But we get to do that in homeschool. So know that you can just create what it is that you want to create. I do think that there are people who are very strategic when it comes to like curriculum and standards. And it feels like I have to follow this to the T, and you don't. So that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. Woo, girlfriends. Let me tell you, if you're seeing these 2 beautiful melanated women in your news feed and you're wondering, what in the world is this? This is Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. And so, yes, and I'm Angela Jordan Perry. We're here with Virginia Coley here today on Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. You all be sure to hit the share button and get this out to your other girlfriends. You just never know who may be looking to homeschool or want to have some, some nuggets and figure out things. So we're going to go ahead and pick Regina's brain on quite a few things now. Regina, tell us, what is your worst day of homeschooling? I mean, it has been so bad in these 4 months and you thought, I'm done. I don't know what I'm doing. In the corner, maybe where, putting it to your lips or something, and you thought about quitting, but you didn't. And this is why you're this amazing organized homeschool mom that you are today. Take us to that worst day real quick.
Worst day. My daughter was playing with her cousin who was in school, and I guess they were talking about school things and field trips that he had coming up and some things that he had going on at school. And all of a sudden she just was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go back to school. Why am I here and he gets to be in school? And to me, I've never expressed that to her, but I've always felt like she wasn't getting the best experience that she can get when she was in public school. I mean, she knew what she needed to know, but I didn't feel like there was somebody really driving her, pushing her to give her best. She did what she needed to do, and that was enough. And that was okay. So when I hear that, and I'm like, why are you all of a sudden now requesting to go back to school? But I notice when she's around kids who are in school, there's always that request. And it's like, here I am using all my ink, all my resources, staying up all night to make sure that you have something fun and exciting and engaging to do. And she didn't see the value in it. And it was kind of discouraging for me. Like, is there a small chance that I am ruining her experiences growing up? Because she's getting ready to go to middle school by not allowing her to be in school. And I know that at this fifth grade year, they're leaving elementary school. They kind of got to be the boss of the school and be the oldest for once. And they have this big transition ceremony at the end of the year. And she's not going to be able to participate in that. And she's not technically graduating from school. And so there's that little bit of doubt always in the back of your mind. It's like, she gets socialization because we get out of the house, we go to the park, she's involved in church. But it's not the same as being in a class full of girls your age, boys your age, where you're getting to talk and interact. But what I see with her siblings is that it's just beautiful. They're connecting. They fight a lot, but they're also getting a chance to connect and just enjoy each other and learn what else they can be good at outside of the classroom. But sometimes I think they have gotten so used to the system and the way that school should be and what it should be that they don't fully understand homeschool. And you have a lot of people who do, deschooling and unschooling, and we kind of skipped that process a little bit because I just wanted to get our kids settled into a routine that worked. But I think that needs to happen a little bit more, is understanding that what we're doing is not school at home. They always ask, like, are we doing specials and are we doing this? And so those kind of days when there's those questions, they're questioning me about why I chose this, can get to be a little bit discouraging because they just don't understand. But I just try to keep trudging on. I'm like, one day they'll see that this was good, even if it doesn't last until they go to 12th grade. The time that they had here at home was a good time.
Absolutely. And it's just so fresh and new as well. And so not so long removed from public school. So that's a near, memory for them. So conversely, though, even in these 4 months of schooling, what has been your most memorable experience so far that, maybe it almost brought you to tears and you're saying this is why we decided to do this right here for no other reason, but this right here. Take us to that.
Okay, so let's see. I would say one of those days was when we do read alouds now every day. And I don't do separate books for separate age levels. It's just like literature is literature. We can all learn something from it. And, what you take away from that literature, that's what you do on your individual age level. But we all read the same books and we read them out loud. So we were doing that, and we had an opportunity to make lap books for all the books that we've been reading. And my son, he's a hands-on learner. Anything project-based he loves. So getting to cut out all of those little pieces, glue them, and have little things to stick inside the pockets, for him, he just turned to me. He was like, I love this. I love homeschool. So I was like, yes. That right there for me is like just, always having to get calls from the teacher because I got him all the time. He's not sitting down or he doesn't want to do this. I'm like, his mind is so sharp. He was teaching and leading circle time when he was in pre-K reading, like to his other classmates. That's who he's been since he's been little. And so going through school, he didn't always get an opportunity to fully experience and fully do things in a way that he learned best. But to be able to do that at home, and then for him to say, like, I love this, I was like, well, I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah, that's priceless, and that's beautiful. Yes, that makes my heart happy. Absolutely, that is it. So here at this point of our show, these are some questions to pick your brain. You can give us some quick answers.
Okay.
First one, you always have to give some background around it. But so what is your favorite quote or mantra that you use that has kept you moving forward these 4 months of homeschooling, Regina?
It's the same as it was when I first started teaching, is that teaching isn't the filling of a bucket, but it's the lighting of a fire. And just understanding that there are some times where you just kind of feel like, here's my child, I got to deposit this little knowledge in them. Once they're filled, they're good, they go to the next grade level. And that is not what I want for my kids. I want them to be excited about learning. I want them to see me being a lifelong learner and understand that the process doesn't stop. I love to read, and I hope that they will pick that bug up and learn to love to read as well, and find and understand that their knowledge really is their power. And once they grasp that, and I know that's going to take some years, but once they grasp that, I think that they will begin to just understand and love learning. So that hits home for me every day.
That's beautiful. I like that quote. Teaching is not the filling of a bucket, but the lighting of a fire. That's beautiful. You all write that down. Remember that. That's really good. You plan to homeschool all the way through to the end, graduate them out?
I've been thinking about it. I'm a part of several Facebook homeschooling groups. So now I'm just kind of observing and listening to what other parents are dealing with when they have children that are in middle school and high school, to hear the pros and cons of what it's like at that age level. And we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I just give you a little inside information. I'll be doing a series soon about skipping the middle school years. After so many years of doing that, I just think that's just a wasted period of time. So that might be something to think about. You just be like, okay, elementary, high school. So anyway, just you all keep an eye out for that. I'll be talking about how to skip your middle school years and move on to some forward education for your kids. But what is a favorite book or resource that you have in your library, either just for parents for insights on homeschooling or just for curricula, that you have that you can recommend to the girlfriends, Regina?
There's a book by Sally Clarkson called Educating the Wholehearted Child. And I love the Clarkson family. Like, they have some really great books around motherhood and homeschooling, but that one for me helped me to better understand, or better articulate what's in my heart, because I know what's there and I know my reasoning behind it, but she just wrote everything out in a way where every page I'm like, yes. So it's a thick book now, but it's a great resource.
Yeah, that's a very popular recommended book on the show, Educating the Wholehearted Child. So what is the best piece of advice that you have received regarding homeschooling, Regina?
To just do it. I know that when I first started out, I vented in some group and I was like, the family doesn't support me. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. Why do you have all these degrees and then you want to stay at home with your kids? It was a kind of little criticism there. And I just remember thinking, I'm like, this is what I do for other people's children. Why wouldn't I be able to do that for my own kids and provide that for my own family? Like, I'm not understanding the backlash. And so everyone said, just do it. And then when they see how brilliant and contented your children are, they'll have no choice but to just, go with the flow. Those are your kids. You had them, and it's your responsibility to raise them. So just remembering that constantly, it's like, we're not here to please people. These are your children, and you're responsible for their outcomes, despite what anybody else thinks or their opinions about it.
Yes, that is well said, man. You said a mouthful right there, because you said, this is what I do for other people's kids. Why wouldn't I take time out to do, give attention to my own kids in this regards? That is huge. Excellent. So that's caused me to just deter just a little bit on this part of the show, because, as melanated people, our ancestors have fought for the right to be in schools, desegregation and all of that. And so now, who are we to have the audacity to say we're going to homeschool our kids and pull them out of the entity that they worked so hard to put them in? What do you have to say to that, Regina?
It's a choice. It is a choice. I think that it's always been a choice, is that we fight for inclusion. And sometimes it's just that's what the masses are doing. So it feels like that's what's best. And I think that the reason that people are so, critical of homeschooling is because they don't have a full understanding of it. And you can't support fully what you don't understand fully. So I think it's just a lack or miseducation about homeschooling that exists for us. And then sometimes we don't think that that's an option for our kids. We think that those are options for other families who are wealthy, who have a spouse who's making tons of money, where the mom can stay at home. And that's not what this is at all. There is flexibility for those families as well. And there's flexibility for us too. It requires a different level of commitment. It just requires a different level of commitment.
Beautiful. Wow, that is good. Good stuff right there. That's good, you all. Woo, Regina, here we are. We're on the last question.
Okay.
$1 million question. Now, I don't know what you think about this because you're so brand new, but I sure would love to hear your insights. Now, although you're 4 months old into this homeschooling journey, I'm sure you've been homeschooling your kids or teaching them at home for years, but
yes,
officially, if you want to say. But, if you have your current wisdom, knowledge, insights, convictions, and you know, this great habit you have already put it into place. But if you had to start all over again, go back to another January, starting all over again, what would be something that you'd be sure to do differently or include or not do this second time around?
I think because we started in January and it was so cold and I was so very pregnant, I didn't do a lot of leaving the house. So for them, it was just like, please, you know, keep your things here so that we can stay organized and keep everything in one place. I wasn't as flexible in the beginning on my part because I wanted to make sure that we'd set up a routine and a rhythm that worked rather than coming in and explaining that this is homeschool and we have freedom, because kids, you know, I don't think that they need freedom from the beginning. They need a few boundaries. They need to pick up a rhythm and routine, and then we can adapt from there. But if I was to start all over again, I would allow myself just a little more flexibility and freedom, and give that to the kids, whereas I was very rigid in the beginning and then loosened up a little on them. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I would do that.
Beautiful, beautiful. That is sound. That's sound wisdom. That is definitely sound wisdom. So, girlfriends, woo, we have been with Regina Coley this last hour or so here, and she has been giving us some nuggets and insights and wisdom. And for 4 months, I'm just staying impressed. I staying impressed. You all be sure to rewind this and you know, dive into what Regina is saying. This grace, this flexibility, this freedom. You know, the purpose behind what you're doing is your choice, and you get to frame and fashion it and shape it as you like. So, Regina, that was great, 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 great. Now, I know you gave us a bit of advice at the beginning. Is there anything else that you feel like on your heart, since we have talked through, that you want all these girlfriends and guy friends to know, as they perhaps, you know, dive into this space of homeschooling their own?
Just connect with other homeschooling families, even if you can't find somebody in your area. Like, we were new to this area, but as soon as we moved here, I'm like, Alabama homeschool groups. Like, I got to find somebody who's here when I have questions, or we want to connect with other families that may be in the area, even just to go to the park and play for a little bit, or just meet up with other moms. Find somebody else who's doing what you're doing. So in those days where you feel like it's crazy, or am I making the best decision or the right choice, you can hear what is happening in other people's families, because sometimes that just is what you need to affirm the work that you're doing and know that it works. And it's just maybe a rough day, but just find a connection, find a community of individuals who are doing the work that you're doing, because that's really going to be a great support system and a system of encouragement for you.
Absolutely. But girlfriends, listen, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. And this past hour, you have been hanging out with Regina Coley. I keep saying your name, Coley, back and forth. I'm like,
that's okay.
Out of now Alabama.
Yes.
A homeschooling mom of 6 beautiful children. Again, the ages of 10, 8, 4, 2, 1, and 2 months old. So listen, keep up the momentum. And just like Regina said, connect with other homeschooling families who's going to make a positive impact in your journey. And then you be that positive force in which they can draw from, because, you know, iron sharpens iron. Look for your village. Like,
yes.
I'm really huge on that. Look for your village, you know, and your vibe will attract your tribe. And sometimes you got to go be intentional and find your village. So, but anyway, thank you, Regina. Girlfriends' Guide to Homeschooling. We're so grateful to you for taking the time to share your wisdom, your knowledge, your insights. And for these 4 months of homeschooling, you all, this lady had a lot to say and to share. So thank you so much for giving up your time and your resource. Girlfriends God appreciate you so much. Mwah.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So listen, girlfriends, now listen, go over to the Facebook page of Girlfriends Guide to Homeschooling. Subscribe. Well, there, you just like and follow on Facebook. If you're a YouTuber and you love that space, be sure to subscribe. So every time I have a new interview, 3 a week, you get the notifications, and you can draw from insights and wisdom and take some nuggets and some insights like, yes, that's a great idea. I like that whiteboard. Somebody put that up there. I like the whiteboard idea. here, this is where we can glean and draw from one another and share and get insight. So you all be sure to do that. Find us on our podcast, Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling, and then on Tumblr and Instagram, you'll find us there as well. So remember that to teach a child is to touch a life. And as we homeschool, we not only touch a life, we shape the future through our efforts of homeschooling day after day and year after year. So keep making that positive impact on your children as we are educating our own, okay? Show again with Regina out of Alabama. You all take care, and until the next time, all the best to you. Bye-bye for now, you all. Bye-bye.